We made it, guys. Week 1 of the NFL season is here. The lobby is jam-packed with week 1 battle royale contests, including the 12-person drafts. And we are flipping the calendar from off and on the clock off-season edition to in-season edition, which means we are going to give you guys our typical slate breakdown, an overview of everything we're seeing in the ADP lobbies, our favorite scroll down gems. We're also going to go through some of the contests we'll draft for small field contests, including the Deposit Kingdom and Badge Bros Brawls for the week, which are going to drop here in about a half hour. And then we'll wrap it up the only way we know how, getting you guys some spicy pick'ems for this Sunday. Can't wait. I'm Pete with Jon and Nez. Let's do it. All right, guys, here we are. We've drafted a lot of best ball teams this summer. There are still some teams to be drafted. I actually just went on a walk and got an extra sprint team in. Looking to get some relay there. But for this show, guys, we are all about week 1. Are you guys fired up to be in the BR lobbies?
I mean, yeah, it just feels so comfortable, right? Just like what we've been, what we've been doing, man. It just feels right. I'm super excited, coming off this off season and diving into this slate. It just feels like ripe for, the taking based on everything that we talked about, in the masterclass, of course. But yeah, I'm super excited, man.
Yeah, likewise. I mean, obviously we got a really big battle royale, like first main slate here, 50K up top. I mean, I wasn't even anticipating. Whoa. Something just dropped in my house. That scared the shit out of me. I'm not going to lie. We're good.
Ghost of BR's past coming through to your home.
Yeah, man. Tony Redacted spooking my ass from the back. Holy. Oh, man. Yeah, no, I excited. We got a dog bowl location now. We got a little bit of a hype video there. So get excited about that. And then we got all sorts of stuff Pete alluded to. Like, this isn't just your standard contest drop off the top. I mean, we got 15 things to choose from in the lobby here, something for everyone. So that's very exciting to see in week 1.
Yes, and we'll. I don't know if Eggers is trolling. I'm pretty sure Eggers is in the Discord and is very aware of the masterclass, and yet I will use it as an opportunity to remind people that if you are watching this show and you're like, yeah, all that slate specific stuff is cool and all, but I'd like to know some more macro concepts. Where to start? How much should I be thinking about correlation? How should I use ADP and projections? Well, guess what? All 3 of us have been working hard on a masterclass for you guys that dropped last week. If you guys missed that show, you can go back and check it out. We kind of did more of a walkthrough. I've also written about it in the PO Box newsletter. I have made a video about it on the Deposit Kingdom channel. So lots of ways to find out about it. But what you need to know is the 20% off discount for the YouTube members, for people in the Deposit Kingdom Discord. That's going away when week 1 hits. We have had a ton of people already dive in and complete the course, have gotten all kinds of great testimonials across the spectrum from people who are already in deep and just enjoyed the refresher, from people who were brand new coming over from salary cap DFS and feel like they can hit the ground running. So take advantage of that. And then I should also mention, Nez already dropped 2 new videos to the course. Yesterday, we added them, an entire walkthrough of your dog bowl process and an entire walkthrough of your auto draft process. Nez, any notes on those new additions to the course?
No, I mean, John was like begging me not to post these. He said, Nez, please, dude, don't. It's too much value. You can't just be adding this for nothing. But no, I'm joking. No, I had a lot of fun with that. It's very raw. Like when we did the walkthroughs or like the podcast audio version of our written stuff, like it was very, to the point, exactly what is on like what we wrote. This is very much just like my like raw open thoughts while I dive into the slate really for the first time. So I hope that that's like enjoyable for people. I do think I provided some nice insights as far as like what I'm doing when I'm auto drafting, what I'm looking for when I'm creating dog bowl ranks. So yeah, I think that it's worth checking out.
So we have a lot of ground to cover on this show. So much we want to do. Like John said, the lobby's full. We could do an hour on the primetime Paloozas. We could do an hour on the dog bowls, like all of this stuff. We're going to try to make it both as high level and actionable for all of you guys as you head into this weekend of drafting. We're obviously recording this earlier than normal. I'm traveling tonight, so I had to bump this up. Generally, this show will be Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern, and that ends up being a really good time because a lot of that Friday news dump comes in the afternoon, and we're able to kind of have a pretty good feel of what the slate's going to look like. Obviously, things might change here as we get some more practice reports later in the week, but we're going to do our best to get you guys ready for this slate. Let's talk a little macro, guys, here at the top, just about uniqueness with week one. Obviously, as the season progresses, projections get better, rankings get better, ADP gets more efficient. There's an element of, a choose your own adventure to week one where there are so many good plays. And, to quote the one David Kitchen, we just don't know. We just don't know in a lot of these spots. So how do you guys think about week one differently than say you would, week 13?
Well, it's definitely one of the most recreational laden weeks in terms of players joining the player pool for the first time. So for us hardo sickos who do the deep dive, do the masterclass, that sort of thing, it does present a larger edge in my estimation. But the other thing associated with it is just week one in particular, David Kitchens, we just don't know. I didn't want to pull the quote again, but it's true. Like we haven't seen anything yet. And, as the weeks progress, we're going to over-ape into things that we have seen, or the field is going to overreact to things in which they see in week one. This is kind of like a blind leap of faith in week one, where it's like, we just got to trust some of our priors and not to get caught up in like, we know the answer right now, but we have to trust that the research we did in the summer will lead us to directionally accurate, because we used it in the master class, but last year, great example from the opening week is Isaiah Likely. You have this tight end slate. You have this tight end slate that is absolutely littered with the best plays, the quote unquote best plays. Goddard's on there, Kelsey's on there, Mark Andrews is on there, and Isaiah Likely laps the field with all three of them and breaks the slate wide open. And we just have to go back to our root principles of, that's range of outcomes for someone on this slate today, or this weekend rather, that we're not thinking about yet.
Hang on, John. I do just have a comment about that because you're bringing up the Isaiah Likely stuff. Would you say that some people might have victory lapped what that touchdown meant a little too soon? That maybe they kind of just jumped the gun about what that meant for the rest of the season?
I think do as I say, not as I behave. It would be a potential here. Yes, some of us might have jumped the shark on Isaiah Likely last season.
Yes. For the audio listeners, there is a photo of a shirtless John at the Hollywood Planet Hollywood Hotel. This was literally moments after that Isaiah Likely touchdown, which was called back as well, right?
Yeah.
That's the best part. That's the best part. It didn't even count.
And guess what? If you want to see like an actual image representation of what Twitter is going to look like tomorrow night, Friday night, all day Sunday, God. It is a million people. Just actually superimpose the troll head character from the Best Ball Bros video onto John and just whipping around. That is what Twitter is going to be like for the next few days.
Holy shit, man. I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared. God, that picture that never gets old.
Nez, anything else that you're thinking about in week one? I mean, we can also skew it a little bit to the like overall game environment, no totals over 50, a lot of totals kind of jumbled up together. Like there's no like clear game of the week. Even the ones that you would normally gravitate to, like Lions and Packers, the Lions have one of the lowest team totals you'd ever seen from them last year. So how are you thinking about this slate from a macro perspective?
Yeah, I think there's like definitely a lesson in what we're seeing in week one that, can absolutely be applied to the rest of the season that we'll forget as we think that we have, a better idea of what's going to happen week over week. I mean, and what I mean by that is like, one, we really don't know what's going to happen this week because it's week one and it's so variant. But two, when you look at projections, like so many guys are separated by like one fantasy point. And like, but when you look at them on a list, they're separated by like quite a few players, but in reality, it's only like one fantasy point, right? Like that's you flip a coin and that can be, you know, that can flip in terms of like a slate run out. So much of this stuff is like highly variant, but I think we forget like that it continues to be highly variant even past this. So all that being said, man, this slate I just think has so many ways to play it. And yeah, I'm like, it's borderline overwhelming how many different directions you can go in the BRs this week. I mean, my player pool is like 60 players deep.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, John, do you have any notes on game environments? Obviously, we'll get more picky as the season progresses, right? We'll see all the warts in these offenses, what teams need to be pushed. We'll get, you know, some disastrous pacing, you know, from some of these teams that will make them not attractive. But as far as week one, how are you thinking about game environments?
I think what's reflected in ADP right now is that everyone thinks they know how a game environment is going to play out. And I think it's a good reminder to be like, yo, just because there's an implied team total or an implied game total of, 47.5, that doesn't mean that it has to push in the direction in which our fantasy brains want it to. So like, let's use just on the screen right now, for example, like Arizona, like everybody just wants that game to funnel through Kyler, Trey McBride, and a little bit of scroll the F down James Conner. But it's a good reminder that like, hey, just because they have a high implied team total that is similar to the Bengals, I think it's like 0.5 off pending where you look, doesn't mean that it has to funnel that way. Like, here's your Marv Harrison Jr. scroll the F down. Here's your whatever. So it's good to get back to our rudimentary, like just macro principles of like, zoom out from like that number and what the ADPs are right now and think about the way in which that ball game can go, right?
Yeah, and like also the thing with all the totals being so close together, right? Like there ends up being a tendency, and I do this myself, of kind of galaxy braining off of the highest total games. Like everyone's going to be there. Let me build differently. This is like the perfect week to galaxy brain because the opportunity cost of moving off of the top games is basically nil. There isn't a game of the week with that total over 50. So if the field, like John said, is going to get overconfident about certain spots, certain game environments, like you can make some 1-for-1 pivots and you're giving up 1.5 points of projected total, which is nothing in the realm of the game we play and being so touchdown heavy here. There's any other thoughts on this before we kind of drill down into some ADP dynamics?
Yeah, I had one like just kind of like macro thing from like last year as another week one based example for people. Like Dom Zone just actually triggered my mind with it by saying Spencer Rattler week here is like, dude, we thought like Clint Kubiak last year was like the second coming, right? Like we thought Ben Johnson be damned. We got Clint Kubiak in this world, and like the Saints went nuke for the first 2 weeks. Then injuries took place. Yada yada, it didn't come to fruition. But like there is going to be a team, there's going to be an offense, there's going to be something that we haven't seen just yet. Like, I don't want to use the Raiders as this example in my own mind because I don't even believe it. But like just the fact that like all their coach speak has been like, yeah, we've been base vanilla. This isn't what our team's gonna look like. Don't worry about the preseason. And now they come out in week one and look completely different than we anticipated. I don't even know if I believe that example. I'm just utilizing it. Yeah, there's going to be something like that that's going to take place in week one, and that's just part of the range of outcomes.
Yep. Let's head over to the ADP lobby. I think this is the best way for us to talk through this. We're going to look at the main slate ADP, which is for the 6-person drafts. If you guys happen to miss it, we obviously talked about it in some of the Dog Bowl course updates. I know these guys have talked about it on some shows, but there is now separate ADP for the Dog Bowl 12-person slates as well as the 6-person slate. So you can even see here on the rankings, if you want to see ADP, you can toggle back and forth. I'd actually be curious as the season progresses if someone did some side-by-side analysis of the ADP. Who knows? Maybe even people who have a masterclass course. That could be a great project for us and see kind of where some of those differences are shaking out. My hunch is that obviously the elite onesies getting pushed up more in the 6-person than the 12-person, but that could be something fun to see how that develops. But as far as this week, guys, I think what's really interesting, and we can kind of just start at quarterback, is the fact that so many of the elite quarterbacks are not on the main slate. We really have Jaden Daniels and then this kind of wide range of pocket passers. Not to say there aren't guys who have rushing upside on the slate, but as far as the big dogs at the top, it's Jaden Daniels ADP of 8.4. And the first thing I thought of is like Jaden Daniels or Scroll almost on this slate was where mine went. Obviously, that's a little extreme, but how are you guys thinking about the quarterback ADPs?
Yeah, I mean, Jaden Daniels, ADP 8.4 right now. I see him go pretty much like living at the 6-7 or 6-7 1-2 turn, more or less. I'm with you, right? If it's not Jaden Daniels, like I don't think I'm paying up for Baker Mayfield with like close to 100% ownership. I don't think I'm paying up for Kyler Murray, close to probably more like 70% ownership. I would guess. So yeah, I'm definitely like thinking about scrolling here and like what does like a non Jaden Daniels shipper look like? How does it get there? It probably involves Jaden Daniels not crushing for one, and two, quarterback maybe more or less not mattering, or if it does matter, like I'm well stacked. I'm also looking a lot at like quarterbacks that I think are fine naked, and quarterbacks unstacked, and how do they get there, right? And just for one, like Bo Nix, right? I think a Bo Nix unstacked could make a ton of sense in the BR where his pass catchers go, very much undrafted. Sutton's like the only one. So just kind of like comparing the pass catcher ADPs and like what quarterbacks I think are fine unstacked is really how I'm thinking about quarterback right now.
Yeah, I agree with your initial assessment, Pete, there that like Jaden or Scroll kind of thing, because it is a Scroller's Delight slate. Because as you guys can see, the ADPs of Burrow, Baker, and Kyler are propped up by the fact that their pass catchers go ahead. So from a combinatorial ownership standpoint, I think those three are going to be tethered with like those first and second round picks so frequently. So the leverage in even playing like those guys, non-traditional, like naked or slightly different, not terrible idea if you ask me, or just scrolling beyond it and doing as Nez alluded to with like, like just a different skinny stack at the back end with some of those scrolls, because you're going to get a huge discount, and the score that you need to match on a week like this is so different than a week where we have like Hurts, Lamar, Allen, and Jaden Daniels. Like you need less from your scroll.
Yep. Real quick, let me just hit this in the chat from GoAZ about the masterclass. Is it a one-time fee? All new videos are included. Correct. One-time fee. The course is $120, but you can get that 20% off right now. And everything we add is just you getting additional value. So Nez literally added 2 videos over an hour yesterday. They immediately get tossed into the course player. If you want to watch the video, immediately get pushed to the audio. I actually got serviced as an audio listener with both of those this morning. So you can consume it however you want, and it's all included in that flat rate up top.
I'm going to do a little primetime Palooza swap thing on Thursday, like a before and after lock thing there too. So if people aren't clear on like the swap process, nice little value additive there. Most of the people here will be familiar with that.
Yep. Any other kind of like favorite quarterbacks? Nez, you mentioned some of the naked guys. I mean, even in the scroll territory, we know Drake May is a guy you can roll naked with how much he runs. Obviously, Justin Fields, like the poster boy for that. Daniel Jones, we know can get home without the pass catcher. I mean, there's a lot of good options. I mean, you could even say Bryce Young with how much he was running last year if you don't want to force the stack. Any other kind of rushing QBs you like naked?
Rushing quarterbacks, no, that's more or less like what I'm looking at here. I think Daniel Jones, you did just say him, but like I think he definitely has some appeal in a game that I think could be pretty high pace, where he's just kind of dropping back a lot, scrambling a lot. That'd be pretty awesome. But I am interested to see what Daniel Jones looks like, because I think this is like the best group of pass catchers he's had. So like, will he need to scramble as much as he did in New York? It'll be interesting to see. I'm sure they're going to want him to play his game non-rushing wise. While we're still on quarterbacks, it's hard not to like think about Flacco this week, right? I mean, everybody's been talking about how the Bengals defense is trash. It's one of the worst, coupled with the fact that they're deep. It's Joe Burrow and company. The game environment absolutely looks like it has strong right tail outcomes. If Flacco's slinging that, it's very easy to stack. I think Flacco has some strong appeal, stacked only. I'm not doing naked Flacco, but I think Flacco stacked has a lot of appeal at like probably sub 10% ownership in this.
Yep. And that is one of the things we get into in granular data in the course is the archetype of these quarterbacks really, really matters for how you stack them. I will say this, and we mentioned this too, there is some counterintuitive stuff in Nerdy Tenor's sim data last year at the in-game syndicate revealed this, where pocket passers who have a spread out offense, you'll sometimes see them pop as being very viable naked, which I know like can be weird. Like, I would see Jordan Love, or even there was some Baker Mayfield ones where it's like, hey, if all the pass catchers score 15 points, well, then that doesn't really help you. You're going to need the alpha stack guy who goes for 25 plus. And so thinking about not only the quarterback archetype and how they score, but then also how concentrated is that offense. Those are kind of the thought processes I think you should be going through as you determine if you want to be forcing stacks with these guys or not.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point there, where our game separates from the redacted games in a big way, because, like the ETR guys did a really good show on that yesterday about breaking down their data from last year and effectively like their version of like some of our masterclass stuff. And it was very starkly different than some of our discoveries in the masterclass, just because of the bonuses, the PPR factor, and how large rosters are comparative to what we're dealing with here, where it is more of a race to be perfect on only 6-person rosters.
Yep. Let's go to the other side of the onesies maybe, and then we can kind of get back or sorry, go ahead.
Are we doing gems right now as like the scrolls there, or no?
Yeah, let's mix it in. Yeah, because we're kind of going positionally, and so yeah, we'll hit the gems as we go here. So what do you got?
All right, guys. I was reading my book over the weekend here. I was reading this. Tell me if this sounds good to you. Okay. Stable quarterback EPA metrics. Okay. This quarterback against no pressure, 12th in the league last year. In the pocket, 6th. No play action, second best for EPA. First downs, second best. Layup throws, 4th best in the league. Attempts over 2.5 seconds, 4th in the league. Those are pretty good EPA numbers. Can we agree?
We can agree, John.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh, come on. He's been in the league for like 10 years, brother. You got to say that name right. You got to say that name right.
No, I like it. I think that game environment has a ton of possibility. People are going to shy away from it. I mean, we're all still like, what the hell is going to happen with Tyreek Hill? I mean, leaning into that volatility there. People don't really aren't super excited about H-An because they're like, is he going to be 100%? I do like that shout a good bit.
So do I. Yeah.
Any other stats you want to read us from your big dictionary there?
No, that's all I got, bro.
Tight end is definitely more loaded than quarterbacks. Obviously, we have the 3 big elite guys all on this slate. Brock Bowers, George Kittle, Trey McBride, all there clumped together. ADP's 11 to 15. Is this a similar setup for you guys where it's elite 3 or scroll, or do you like some of the Njoku, Laporta, Warren guys as well?
Elite 3 is definitely sticking out, right? I mean, it makes a ton of sense. I will say, like, the field kind of nailed tight end ADP. All these guys are basically in order of their projection. It's actually pretty impressive how like the field just kind of has a good understanding of what makes a solid tight end or not. It's definitely these elite or scrolls, but like Njoku in that in-game environment looks awesome. I'm really excited for Tyler Warren's role in this game environment against Miami. My favorite scroll right now is Cade Otton. The fact that he's back at practice, the Cade Otton early season thesis with the banged up Buccaneers, I think really comes into play here. This is a game that I think can easily exceed its total in a dome against 2 offenses, and like 2. What I'm chalking up as 2 so-so defenses until proven otherwise. We've seen Cade Otton really have nice games, when the pass catching core is hampered in Tampa. So if he continues to practice and play, I love it. And if he doesn't play, I have no problem getting some swaps to set up for Sunday.
Yeah, everybody. Official practice reports start today, but it was good that he was back on the field Monday. I don't know, Wednesday. It's kind of like take it with a grain of salt, but I'd anticipate like a limited. If you get a full today, absolutely, I'm going to start jamming them because Nez, as you alluded to, like last year, that stretch where they were without a slot wide receiver, like he did his best Mike Gesicki impersonation, and it had like 11, 10, and 10 target games back to back. Like if Ibuka like isn't exactly what everybody like, he's going to be getting jammed on redacted for this game environment and price point. Like if people start funneling that over into our games here, just easy pivot to K-Dot and just get some leverage.
Are you guys surprised at Zach Ertz's ADP? Because I feel like if people weren't coming off the season with best ball brain and you got, the Tyler Warren up here, I feel like this slate would set up exactly as Zach Ertz, tight end 5, tight end stack, routinely getting paired up with the Jaden Daniels drafter. Kind of surprised that he's all the way down here at tight end 10, meaning he's going to be at a lower ownership than I would have. Like if you just had me blind guess, I would have said Zach Ertz, tight end 5 stack with Jaden Daniels 50% of the time.
Yeah, and people are spooked by the Debo stuff, and people are gravitating to the Debo as the scroll stack opposed to the onesies there. I was surprised to hear that Nez liked the Tyler Warren one. The Tyler Warren one scared the shit out of me. Like I was like, ooh, I'm not so sure about that one. Like I could see it. Like he's a freak talent, and the way he was utilized in the preseason indicates that he's going to be on the field a shit ton. But like, I kind of like that Ertz call just in general there. The other thing about the Giants in particular is their defense isn't supposed to be amazing, but their defensive pass rush is supposed to be like elite, if not like 101 in the league there. So that kind of means scramble and ball out quickly, which bodes well for like the Zach Ertz archetype.
Yep. And like a refresher too, for people who weren't playing these regularly last year, even with the elite guys, like the bar for what you need at tight end, again, just last year was so low. I mean, you can go look through even the elite scores. Like people were winning tournaments with 13 from Brock. You were getting 14 from McBride, 15 for Kittle. The selling point actually ended up being the floor of those guys, because the floor for everybody else was just insanely low, like 3 to 4 points. At least with those guys, you're locking in 11 or 12. So that's one thing to think about. And I do think, it looks to me like a great weekend to scroll down here. Some of these tight ends, you're just touchdown hunting. That is what you're doing. Can Chigakonkwo score a touchdown? Can Pat Freiermuth score a touchdown? Can Bretton Strange score a touchdown? Like these are some pretty good matchups, good game environments, non-existent ownership here in the 36 plus. I should mention in the course too, one of the infographics that you can download that we provide is a corresponding ownership percentage based on historical ADP. And this stuff has been back tested. I've tested it on lots of sites or slates with real-time data. It's very, very directionally accurate. So if you want that as part of the course, you can kind of start to memorize what a 35.9 ADP means as far as ownership. But all of these guys in this 36 range here are not going to be utilized much at all.
No. And I just want to like give a +1 to the Zach Ertz like call out. Like, why isn't he drafted more? It's definitely because like Terry is free for the Jaden drafter, as is Debo for the Jaden drafter. But that just means like Ertz is like excellent leverage if you are trying to stack Jaden Daniels, right? Because like nobody's doing Zach Ertz with their Jaden Daniels stack. Because he's just so easy to stack with sexier pieces. So I think Zach Ertz makes a lot of sense to play with Jaden, or just play Jaden unstacked. But the fact that Zach Ertz is so low owned makes him a pretty interesting piece.
Let's talk some running backs and wide receivers here. Obviously, you got some big names up top: Jamar Chase, Christian McCaffrey. Lots of people have CMC, I think, rightfully as their 101, even though he's lagging behind Chase in ADP. Some heavy hitters, both running backs and wide receivers. Yeah, go ahead, John.
They actually flipped. It opened. CMC was in front of Chase for a while, and now it's flipped back the other way. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong generally, and we talk about this in the course. At least how I like to play it is I played it off ADP in the fact that I want Jamar Chase, I want CMC. If I'm taking CMC every single time at 101, it means I'm going to have like 0 Jamar Chase. I don't want to play my portfolio like that, but to each his own there, how you want to make those stands in the early rounds. But yeah, what kind of jumps out to you guys, either high level running back, wide receivers, or we can get right to the fun scrolls?
Go ahead, John, you start.
I was just going to say, I think it's a big 2. I think the draft rooms is treating it like a big 7, 8, something like that clump. I think it's a big 2, and you can kind of do whatever you want. I tweeted it yesterday that I was really in love with the Achane and Kyron prices. Now that the ETR stuff is out, that's probably going to flip. I couldn't believe Amon-Ra's opening ADP. So like I think people are getting really attached to ADP at the upper echelon, but not all projection systems are going to reflect that. I think it's a big 2. Then there's kind of like a little bit of a clump, and then it's kind of do whatever you want kind of deal.
I think the way that I'm seeing it is like running back. Like there's so many running back plays that look awesome to me.
Yeah.
And the one I think that looks most awesome relative to price point is probably Achan. Just considering like, I keep going back to this game. I really am just super, super high on this game. And if we get, good practice reports from Achan this week, I think he ends up flying up boards. Not that like CLV really matters a ton in these, but like we could be looking Sunday morning and you can't pair Achan at the, with Chase or CMC if he's like full active, ready to go. I don't know why he would be able to be paired there. Connor and Kamara as well, I think have awesome projections. Jacobs, like these running backs are just awesome. And it's going to be really tough for me in 6-person drafts not to come out of these drafts with two running backs. I'm going to have a lot of trouble making sense of doing anything other than two running back builds here.
Yeah. In the course, we have data on the winning lineups and top 1% lineups and their flex utilization in the course. Recommend checking that out. Kind of an eye-popping number as far as the flex utilization in those top lineups last year. But yeah, John, I mean, in Nez, I know you were tweeting about it too, some of the pick'em lobby stuff. Underdog's been tweeting about it with Kamara, right? Like 31.2 projects for what was it, like 5th or 6th most fantasy points for running backs on the slate. I mean, he's definitely being drafted lower than his pick'em would suggest. Of course, we can have the ceiling conversation and why that might be happening, but we saw Kamara return first round ADP value multiple weeks last year, specifically at the beginning of the season. This kind of jumps out to me as a pretty big misprice as well.
Yeah, I think everybody's just scared of the quarterback play right now, and Arizona's defense low-key might be sneaky nice this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is something that I'm a little worried about.
The one thing I'll say, and we've been doing this for a while, like year after year, specifically with the running backs, the volume is king, and we are very bad at projecting game environments. We're even bad at projecting like how tough a defense is, especially when it comes to a versatile back like Kamara, who can get the ball in space. We don't just have to rely on him being an interior runner. So all I will say was that is I would loosen up, kind of, take your hands out of the dirt a little bit, chase the volume, the projectable volume at these running backs. I do think that will be a long-term winning strategy as far as when you're trying to figure out which of these running backs to take at the end of drafts.
Yeah, it's a good call there, Pete, because the next little pocket right after Kyron and Kamara there is kind of like the poster childs for that on this slate. The Chuba, the Ken Walker, and the Pollard, where it's like guys that we think have the backfield, like quote unquote, to themselves. They are the volume guys, but on paper, just given the game totals, given what the potential matchup could be, are like considerably suppressed. How are you guys treating those three?
I mean, I'm definitely a little spooked on Pollard at Denver. I know that he projects for like every single touch out of the backfield. I am going to put on my, aren't you worried, bro, hat here. Denver's defense. I don't know how Denver's defense, fully healthy, underperforms this year. They're highly regarded as one of the best defenses in football. We have a rookie quarterback going on the road at Denver. I just really worry about this game environment for the Titans. I think it could be very ugly, very sloppy for them. But like I said, Pollard projects for every single touch in the backfield. So I get it if you're just like chasing that.
John, I know you got some 36ers on you. We might have to have some new terms for scrolls, because these are legit scrolls, I think, when we're talking like even Tony Pollard. But then we get to the 36ers here. I'm sure you got some love for like a Nick Chubb, a Dobbins, an Eckler, a Tracy. Wow. What do you got for us?
I mean, now that you just ripped them all straight off the top there. Yeah, I mean, the Dobbins one sticks out where it's just like, is he just the lead back? And if this game plays or team plays to the offensive capability and team total that we think they could play to, Dobbins is interesting, more of like 12 persons than 6s probably. Austin Eckler is like really good leverage off of literally everything else that is Washington based. And you can also skinny stack them, which is kind of gal brain. And then ETN was one that jumped out to me as like, if he just gets week 1 preseason usage and that was real, like that was the showcase game where it's just like, yeah, he went 8 for 8 on snaps with the starters and he is the starter. I mean, little gal brain, but you could do worse.
Yeah, I like that shout. I do. I mean, nobody wants to touch it, but like Carolina didn't really do a whole lot to, beef up their run defense, and they were they were one of the worst last year, like far and away.
I think that's a really good one too, and just having that. I mean, these are actually kind of the situations I do think I would want to embrace. This Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne, like make your bet. Obviously there's scenarios where they each get 10 to 12 carries and they don't score or whatever, but there's also scenarios where one of them is just the dead ass lead back, 15 plus touches, goal line carry. And neither of them are getting drafted. So yeah, I like that, especially too, because we're going to see a lot of popular Jag stacks build. So in the same way John was talking about the Eckler leverage on the Daniel stuff, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of Lawrence, a lot of BTJ. I'm sure some Hunter sprinkled in there. So going to the running backs in a plus matchup at home seems pretty nice. What about wide receiver scrolls? I mean, this is always where you can get really creative. So many options down here.
Yeah, this one for me, I'm scrolling quite a bit. Just to like quickly touch on like just like the top end of wideouts here, just kind of get it as a whole. John mentioned Amon-Ra's ADP kind of like standing out to him as like a shock for how low it is. I tend to agree. I thought that we were going to see a little bit more best ball carryover in the wide receivers here, especially with Amon-Ra and Puka. I think for me, I'm going to be taking a lot of these guys ahead of ADP, at least to build some like what I deem to be like high projecting lineups. Puka Nacua being ADP 17 with Stafford healthy. I mean, I have trouble understanding that. I'm just like really not sure how that really makes a ton of sense. Evans with the pass catchers gone there. We talked about how this game environment for Detroit and Green Bay could be exciting. There's just like all these guys here in the top 12 or in the top 8 of overall wide receivers just seem like super, super sick.
I mean, these 3 guys here, and even specifically Puka and Amon-Ra and then Evans, like I'm just like aggregating their EDPs from 2024 in my head. Like these guys lived at the 1-2 turn, like ADP 6, 7, like for most of the Battle Royale weeks last week. And you're getting 19, 17, 14.6 here, like a full round discount on a couple of them, which is pretty nuts there. John, you got anything you like at the top or the middle here before we get to scrolls?
No, I kind of like the scroll stuff a little bit more, like the leverage score ones. I guess Marvin Harrison's on there. I kind of alluded to that one off the top there. I don't know, man. If he just takes a step forward and they're in a plus matchup and you just get all the leverage off of all the Arizona stuff, why not? So that was one that kind of stuck out to me, that was like in like the 34s opposed to the 35 plus range.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, even Devontae Adams being down here, that looks awesome. Yeah, let's get in more of the scroll territory here. After the 35 and a half, like even starting with Pearsall, man, like Pearsall is going to be like Pearsall and Igbuka are going to be mega chalk on redacted here, and you can get them as very nice scrolls.
Yeah, are we worried at all about the Pearsall report from the Athletic guy today?
I missed it. What was it?
It kind of like explicitly stated, Levitan retweeted it too. It was explicitly stating that like the fantasy community is going to be disappointed by his role, and this is going to be more of a slower ramp up than anticipated, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, Jennings is back.
Yeah.
They have Christian McCaffrey, Jawan Jennings, George Kittle, then Ricky Pearsall. The team, the game total here is like 44. It doesn't set up as a smash spot for Ricky at all.
Yeah.
And Ricky is like an ADP with above 40 or in the top 40 in 12 persons. I know we're not even there yet, but could Ricky score a touchdown and have a nice game? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I think that it's very variant and flat within the Niners pass catchers, but this game could just end up being like, an NFC West slugfest and derogatory, where it's just like not high scoring. But I mean, I think it makes sense what that guy is saying. He probably caught wind that Ricky Pearsall is a top 50 overall player in best ball. I was like, what the fuck are these guys doing? Like, what? Led to the chest? Who's Evan Silva? Like, what's going on?
Yes.
Yeah, no, he stood out as like 101 redacted chalk fade for me. Like when I saw that, I was like, ooh, okay. The Igbokwe one I kind of get at least, and there's pivots, but like if I was building a shell right now, Pearsall would not be in it, even though the price tag.
Well, and it goes back to the best ball brain thing, right? Like Ricky Pearsall is effectively a rookie, like the amount of games he played, like in full snaps, fully healthy last year was like a few, So like, I'm not expecting him to just be the focal point of the offense off the rip. I'm expecting a ton of CMC and Kittle, Juwan Jennings, and like, could Ricky Pearsall get loose for a big play? Like, absolutely. That's kind of his MO, but I agree with you guys. And like, as I start to scroll here, like the names I kind of start to gravitate to is this like Michael Pittman, Calvin Ridley, Chris Olave, Josh Downs range, where it's like, you are banking a lot of targets. Most of these guys, the number one, if not co-number one on their team, similar to the running back dynamic, just chasing targets down here, low owned targets is really the way I like to play the scrolls.
Yep. Feels really good there. My short list right now is Adams, Waddle, Shaheed, Pittman, Downs, Tillman, and Mooney are my short list right now. Mooney, just because people be scared of the queue and it's direct leverage off those top guys going. Tillman, because it's direct leverage off the other Browns pieces going. Just like get names that people don't want to click and didn't want to click in best ball that are now carrying over to week one slate here. I don't know. It's interesting. I know the Mooney sample last year came primarily with Kirk Cousins at the helm and when he was healthy, like early in the season, but like Mooney out targeted London and like outproduced London for like a good 8-week stretch last year. Now, do I think that's sticky? Do I think Penix has a special connection with London more so than Mooney? Probably. But I just found it interesting when circling back on last year's stuff.
Nez, any wide receiver scrolls you want to shout out?
Yeah, I think my favorite scroll is Rashid Shaheed, and just running back what we saw early last season in like, pattern matching, overfitting, whatever you want to call it. But I think most people are looking at this game and kind of like, I think having this, at least I saw this game, let me just speak for myself, saw the game total and I was like, I disagree. I feel like this game's going to go over that game total. I'm excited for this spot. All the reports out of camp are that Rattler like ran away with the job, wasn't close. It was barely a competition. Plus you have Kellen Moore, a mind that we respect at head coaching. And I don't need to like sell you guys on Rashid Shaheed's profile, right? He has that slate breaking profile where like we're 5 minutes into the slate and holy shit, on red zone, there's Rashid Shaheed running away with a 60-yard touchdown. Like it just happens that way. So and Shaheed just being so low owned here. I'm a big fan in this spot.
People forget Nez that Chris Olave has never had a 20+ point game on our platform before. People forget.
What? I wasn't aware of this. Did Jameson Williams score 20 points 25% of the time last year too?
Allegedly.
The Rashid Shaheed Chris Olave wars are going to be very fun to follow, like 1 to 2 weeks in, and then I have a feeling there's going to be no wars, and we're not going to be drafting either of them. For
you wait.
All right, you guys want to get our first draft in here? We got some contests that were just added. If you guys were watching along last year, you know that we got the Deposit Kingdom Weekly League. This is a $3 10 max. I'll be reviewing the winning lineups on my portfolio review show every Monday morning at 10 a.m. We also have the Badge Bros Brawl, and I'm scrolling here. I believe these just got added. Boom. There they are. We got the Badge Bros Brawl. These are the 3-person drafts, 1K to first, $5 entry. The DK one, like I said, 3 entry max, $10 entry, 2K to first. Obviously, the strategies that you are going to apply to these contests are different than how you are attacking the large field VR. So one thing, we have an entire section in the course about how you think about correlation should be changing in the smaller field stuff. That's what this Deposit Kingdom Weekly is. Only 1,100 entrants. Let's hop in one of these guys and maybe we can talk through how we would maybe adjust our strategies here.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to switch from large field brain to small field brain, because we can kind of get to our usual principles of stacking, and maybe even, hitting a game environment, just being like way more highly correlated as opposed to just like threading a needle. So especially with 3 entry max, it really lends itself to just good correlation and just good traditional principles.
Yep, and these are the contests too, that are just good to play if you are trying to realize your edge. That
Yeah.
get that ROI sooner rather than later. It's just it's really hard to finish at the top of a battle royale with what do we have this week? Is it 70,000 entrants around there?
Holy crap! I think so.
Yeah, so 70,000 versus, let me get the exact number.
56.
56,000 versus 1,000. So like literally 50 times bigger, the amount of rosters you are competing against. All right, we got the 102, which is good when you say this slate has a big 2 on it. So we will happily take whichever of Jamar Chase and Christian McCaffrey come back to us. What have you guys, have you been, John, have you already been pulling guys up, getting unique at this 2-3 turn, or playing it safe?
No, yeah, at the 2-3 turn for sure. If like the wide receivers and stuff fall back to me, I don't really care that much. If the tight ends and or Jaden Daniels fall back to me, then I start doing that sort of deal. So
Yes,
I have been doing a little bit more of the elite onesies to start here because I do think the Jaden Daniels price tag will climb. Like as Nez said, he's seeing it at like the 6-7 over and over again. Like early on there when I did my first 20, I was routinely getting him on the back side of the board. So yeah.
Yep. So we grab CMC there with our first. Shout out to our guy Steve in this one. Eggers as well. Len Keith too. One of the Pick'em goats last year was always serving up the bombs in these in the Discord. And yeah, we're gonna get to some Pick'ems here in a little bit. We'll do a draft or two. Talk some 12-person strategy, and then we'll slop it up for you guys.
Oh man, I can't wait for the bumper to play or whatever we're calling it, sizzle reel. That's just that just
because I need to remember to play it.
Okay, thank you. I would have stopped you in your tracks if you would have forgotten.
Yeah. All right, Bowers does go. That would have been an easy click. We could play the elites like with McBride.
I click McBride here. But
yeah, I think I'm McBride over Kittle. When we're trying to absorb all the touchdowns on one player in a game on one team, I think McBride pairs a lot better with CMC than Kittle does more often than not.
Yeah, and this is an instance where
you could,
where I wouldn't mind it, but I'm also not necessarily going out of my way to do it either. This is the flat tier at wide receiver we could go to get to the Puka or Amon-Ra here. What do you guys think?
I like London a lot. What do you like, John?
Yeah, go for London then. Yeah. I mean, it's
we can
definitely the ADP play.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the funny things where we probably don't get McBride if we don't take him, because I assume Eggers would take McBride there, and then we have the Kittle decision. But you get the classic thing where you reach for McBride 4 spots at ADP, and then you get Drake London 4 spots after ADP, and it's exactly the same effect.
Exactly, it's the same team. No, I'm just like really excited about this spot for London with Penix at home against the Bucks, man. I have a lot of high hopes. I feel like this really is kind of like a precursor to how their season could potentially wind up looking. Because, I mean, maybe I'm underrating the Bucks defense, but man, I really anticipate London getting fed like crazy from Penix here. Really, really excited to see him. Like I said, I think it's going to be a precursor to the season.
Thank you for this note here, AP. We did just flag that for Numi as well. The tile on the contest needs to get updated. It says 2K to first, but prize pool says 1K to first. It is 1K to first in here. Last year, if we keep filling these up, in future weeks, I think we can start to make it bigger. I want to say we hit some 2K last season, which is probably why it was defaulting on the tile there. But yes, good note here for this week. All right, Jon and Nez, we're about to pick at 4-5. We got CMC, London, and McBride. Definitely think we can wait on quarterback here. What do you guys like?
I like Kyron.
Yeah, I'm cool with
Okay,
Kyron.
Yeah. Kyron Williams, come on down again. One of these guys whose ADP, I want to say, like lived in the 15 to 20 range last year, going at 23 here. We are maxed out. Here we could get a scroll at wide receiver if we wanted.
Did Kyler go already? You guys don't really like Kyler as much as I do, eh?
We could do Kyler in the small field. Yeah, this would be. Why don't we do Kyler with McBride, and then we can do more of a scroll at wide receiver.
Yeah, there was like two ways to land the plane. It was either you go like Marv Harris and you go like Onslaught in small field, or you do like Devontae Adams with Kyron there and then scroll to like, you don't even have to scroll to Stafford, but you could do something like that. Or there was like the Penix to London would be contrarian, but probably a little unnecessary in this field contest. So I think Kyron's like the cleanest way to like solidify our roster right now. And then we can find a unique angle here.
Yep. I like that call here. And you do see, like, again, these are the kind of things, the differences between small field and large field. Like Eggers does the premium Joe Burrow double. It actually did hit 1 week last year in the large field because the game went to overtime. But I would say in most non-overtime scenarios, this is the exact kind of situation where I would be okay doing a Joe Burrow in small field, and it would not be a very big part of my portfolio in the large BR specifically because all three are 100% drafted as well. I loosen up my constraints on that when they are not all drafted. But that's not the case here. So a good kind of thing to think about if you're trying to line up those double stacks. Who's your guys' favorite scroll on this team for wide receiver?
Let's all say one. And
Jerry Jeudy.
I was gonna say Pittman, but
I was gonna say JSN.
All right, we'll go Jeudy. I mean, JSN, isn't he gonna have? He's gonna be.
Oh, he's up. He's not that scrolly. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, Judy's fun. We'll get him. We don't get Flacco, which again, Flacco probably more of a large field battle royale play than a small field one, but we can still get exposure to Jerry Jeudy there. So here's the squad. My first entry in the Deposit Kingdom contest this year. Kyler stacked up with McBride, CMC, and Kyron, Drake London, and Jerry Jeudy there. Should we do a Badge Bros Brawl here before we talk some 12-person?
Yeah, they're so quick. Let's just let's showcase.
These are just like so funny, man. Like I still do not know the best way to play Badge Bros Brawl. I mean, I know that like we think it's to scroll, but like, is it? Like, I still just have like no clue if just like jamming the best plays or like this is such like a little puzzle, dude. These three persons.
This is an interesting conversation to have. Like Blake's asking, is Daniels the BBB 101? And like the answer is
101.
I don't fucking know, man. I don't know.
Like, you don't even have to go that far. Like
yeah.
You know? I mean, we're gonna be looking at like Baker Mayfield being like 30% drafted in this, and I mean, as he should. But I mean, it's just like super flat. You know, like everybody's a scroll. Everybody's a scroll.
This is a pretty good contest to auto too, right? Like if you were wanting to practice your auto stuff, because there's just less ways for it to go awry. You know, the more rounds you have, the more players drafted, the more things can get dicey. But in this, I think this would be a great auto draft one.
100%. Like you can damn near like build your team via ranks, like how you want it to look, you know, like, and I talked about it too in the course, but you can set positional limits now for battle royales. You have to do it on mobile, but you can tell Underdog max 1 tight end, max 2 wide receivers, and know every single time you're going to land on a 1-2-2-1. So it makes for ranking setting for auto really easy. Okay.
I think this is the most interesting draft slot.
You want to do Daniels?
Yeah.
Let's do Daniels.
And
Bijan.
You want to do Bijan?
I think I like Bijan the most out of that next group. Who do you like the most, Nez?
No, I like our guy Bijan. It's hard to like. I think we can get cute after this for sure. I wanted to get cute right away, but passing on Bijan probably not ideal. But I like this start.
The tight ends in this are really interesting because it's just gonna be like those big three are gonna just have like 100% ownership, and anything past that is gonna be pretty unique here.
Pencil in a little Zach Ertz on this squad, boys.
Oh my God. I think Achane.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
You guys like Achane more than Bucky? Like if you just took the Q tag away this week?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Let's see. You want to do Bowers or get creative at tight end?
I want to get creative.
I want to get creative. Okay. Let's do Tyreek, man. Let's do the Miami running back pass catcher correlation that's worked.
This was all the hotness 2 years ago. It was Achane and Tyreek, Mostert and Tyreek.
Metas, man. It was literally had to have, or you were toast.
The other one you've seen it. Yeah. I feel like the Bucks the past couple of years, you had like a lot of Rashad White, Evans.
Yeah.
Last year, there's a decent amount of Bucky and Evans. Like certain offenses get concentrated in specific ways.
The other one 2 years ago too was Kyron plus Puka or Cup.
Yep.
Yeah, good shout.
All right. We start in this Badge Bros Brawl. These are the 3-person drafts, so you can build the super teams if you want them. The question is that actually optimal? We're back on the clock. Nico falling here.
Wow.
do neighbors and do a game stack.
Okay.
Sure.
Neighbors and Ertz and log off, baby.
Yeah, I do actually. I do unironically like Ertz here.
Yes. All right. We're logging off. This is the end of the stream. We'll see you guys. We accomplished everything we wanted in this Badge Bros Brawl with a Jaden Daniels to Zach Ertz stack, Achane and Tyreek Hill, Neighbors and Bijan Robinson. There it is. So make sure you guys are not forgetting about these contests. There's a million things in the lobby, but show some love to the Deposit Kingdom and the Badge Bros Brawl. I'm sure you guys will be reviewing some winning lineups for those on future streams. I'll be reviewing the Deposit Kingdom ones on the portfolio review.
That's Good reminder there, Pete. Anyone who wins more than $10,000 on the platform over this weekend is automatically invited to the winner's circle on Monday. Something we've done the last couple of years here. We've had some Dog Bowl participants come through. It is skewed to the Dog Bowl people. So if you qualify for a Dog Bowl seat, you are welcome on the program. You do not have to choose to do so, like Sam Wilson routinely continues to fade. But yeah, we would like you to come on. So Monday, winner circle, 2 p.m. Eastern, anything that is $10,000 or greater, including and prioritized toward Dog Bowl seat.
There you have it. Just another perk. You get the money in your account, you get the clout, the screenshots, and then you get to come on the world-renowned Winner's Circle. If for anything, just to watch Jon and Nez try to get the graphics and the overlays to all work in a seamless manner.
Are you doing it? Am I doing it? 1, 2, 3. You, me.
GA says Win McBride pick him very soon. Very soon. We want to you guys want to all hop in a dog bowl right now?
Oh yeah.
Let's,
like as in each individually or as in like together?
Sure. Let's see if we all can get in it. Why don't we all
I need to get drafts in, man.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This is if you guys missed it on social, obviously if you're watching the show, you're probably familiar with the Dog Bowl, but the location was announced in Kansas City this year, which is very fun. Hopefully we get a nice little barbecue theme there. Your boy draws the Influencer 101.
Wow.
We're going to have, I think it is 12 weeks of qualifiers. And then this will take place week 14. It's like December 6th through 8th around there in Kansas City. And we also have a Pick'em Dog Bowl competition this year, which we should start, doing that on the Friday show, like building that out. Because I actually haven't looked fully into the details on how to qualify for that yet, but that sounds fun as well.
Yeah, I'm super stoked about that and learning the details. So I don't quite fully understand how you win that, but I'm sure it'll become crystal clear by the time that goes live. I'm super stoked that it's in Kansas City. I spent a lot of time in Kansas City, like 4 years there. So Underdog, if you need any catering suggestions, any ideas, please hit me up. I know that they're big sponsors, the Royals there, but so they're pretty familiar. But I'm more than happy to collaborate on some good food.
I've never been to Kansas City, so that'll be fun.
Dude, it's awesome. It's such an underrated city.
Interesting wrinkle. I think the Chiefs are the Sunday night game.
Are they? Ooh.
I wish it were Monday night, but Sunday night. Yeah.
Monday night was so dope.
I might be able to swing it. It's a little out there, the stadium, kind of like in the middle of nowhere a little bit, but it's feasible.
All right.
Yep. All right. I had the 101. I went ahead and grabbed CMC there. I mean, we talked about the running backs being fairly deep on this slate, but I think I'll always kind of like the wide receivers more that come back around. So I figured I would grab CMC. Jon is on the clock at 104. We're doing a 12-person draft here. JT is the pick for Jon. Nez has the 1-9. Jon, is this your first dog bowl?
This is my first dog bowl. Yeah, I've done 25 of the battle royales, but no dog bowls yet. So, yeah, excited to see how this one breaks. We got some former qualifiers in the lobby here. Mathology, Draps in here, Baby Stevie's in here. So, some former tough competition here.
Good old Keith. Put some respect.
Keith, oh, my bad. Yeah, Len Keith down there in the end there too. Yeah.
Come on now.
Pathetic. Gibbs, Chase Brown. Interesting to see Chase Brown go ahead of Gibbs here.
Yeah.
Nez, from your early dog bowl stuff, obviously you walked through your entire process in the new edition of the course. I highly recommend checking that out. Nez literally gives his playbook for how he builds his ranks early in the week before ranks and projections are out. Like as much of holding your hand as you could possibly do, including sharing his week 1 sheet. So you don't even have to build it. No promises that continues to be shared, but you can go and be taught how to fish in that video in the masterclass course that was just added. But Nez, make your pick here and then talk through what else you're kind of seeing in this week's lobby.
Yeah, I'm going A-Chan here. I think one thing that I am struggling with right now is like paying up for elite tight end and Jaden Daniels. I am very focused, and I think what I need to kind of like think about is how it is a pretty deep week. I think the round 6 picks are pretty nice, specifically at wide receiver, but even some of the running backs that have been available in round 6 like are absolutely fine. But now that we have ETR projections are already out, so people are like very quickly, moving those 6-round picks into the 4th round. It makes it difficult for me to like pass up on running backs early. So my playbook right now is to take 2 running backs within the first 3 rounds, because I think that's just how my teams look the best and project the best.
Yep. All right, Nez, back on the clock. Started A-Chan, double tap Kamara there. Like we said, probably a guy who should not be a 2nd round pick in the 12-person draft, just based on his projection.
Yeah, I fully agree.
No tight ends have gone yet. There's this is also kind of an interesting thing this year. You can see here with the ADPs, the onesies are definitely lower than when we pulled those up there, which I think tracks. But it again shows the difference in this year. It was hard, even if you knew it, it's hard not to get anchored to that ADP. And so those tight ends would naturally go closer to their BR ADP in the 12-person drafts when all that ADP was lumped together. Now that they're separated, now that the sharp drafters are setting that early in the week, I think we're going to see a little bit more of a discount on some of these relative to what it was last year. Whether it is a discount or not, I guess you can debate, but definitely a discount compared to last year's elite tight end prices.
100%. 100%. It can be very interesting to see how these play out.
Yeah, and like I'm gonna happily take George Kittle here on this team with CMC. Just play this through a condensed offense, and I will go ahead and I will snipe Jon on Tyreek Hill here. Not that you get squatters rights on him, but we'll grab Tyreek.
It's actually hilarious that I only have one player in my queue and you just took him.
This is an interesting question from Dane. I don't have a big budget for BR right now. In the main BR, I got a Chase Gibbs team. Should I even draft any more this week or just hope the team's the nuts since I can't do that many to diversify? Well, you should always be bankroll conscious, right? Like I wouldn't be making your bankroll decisions based on one team, I guess would be the first spot. I think you should be plotting that out in advance. And then the more bullets you have, the more you can think about diversifying. Obviously, if you're only doing a couple of teams, we talk about this a lot, like go get your guys, right? Like go make 100%. Your stands if you have that. So I don't know. I wouldn't let that first team dictate how much you're putting in on this slate.
I wouldn't either, but if you are like very bankroll conscious and like you think that the team you drafted is awesome, like okay, it's week 1 to have that team, have your rooting interest, and then kind of like enjoy the slate and take in some info. Like I think that's totally fine. If you feel that strongly about that lineup and you think and you're comfortable not drafting anymore, go ahead. Yeah, call it. And then wait till week 2 comes out and get some more info on your decisions if you're, really tight on the bankroll. Nothing wrong with that.
There's also one additive that we didn't talk about at the top of the show that I'd really like to say now that you just brought to my attention there, Nez, was like week 1 is by far like week 1 and week 18 are like the 2 most variant weeks in terms of like results. Just because of like the way samples work. So like in particular for like bankroll management, like aping week 1 is kind of more of a large bankroll player's play, I guess.
I agree, right? Like, because it's so variant. You gotta you gotta have the large bankroll or like very strong back tested projections. Especially for week 1. Yeah, no, I fully agree. Like I can understand being a little skittish.
And I would say two things. We do have in the course an entire bankroll management and contest selection section that Jon spearheaded with literal concrete recommendations for, hey, I have $100 bankroll. We kind of segment it into style of play. We use a couple of different terms. If you're a hawk, someone who's able to kind of get exploitative and really push an edge, or if you're more of a grinder who's trying to build up your bankroll. We've also gotten a couple of questions. There's actually one I need to respond to in the course that came in this morning, asking about some of those contest recommendations because the lobby for week 1 is a little different than it was last year. Jon's going to be surveying what the full menu is. And we'll also be talking to Numi and try to get a heads up on what is or isn't coming. And then Jon's going to do a refresh on that. So you guys have better, on Tuesday. So you have way more concrete recommendations because we were kind of working off of what last year was at the time.
Yeah, that was all based on last year's week 1, which I thought would mirror the most likely of this year's week 1. Even though some of the price points changed slightly later in the season. And that's kind of true with like sizing right now, but also some contests have different names. Some contests have different structures than previous. So yeah.
Yep. So we will get you guys situated, but it still can give you a pretty good outline for what you should be thinking about. And obviously we drill home, like looking at those payout structures, looking at what is the min cash at, is it a 2x min cash? What percentage of the field gets min cashes? And it's why we're, pushing people to go play in that Deposit Kingdom tournament with only 1,000 people. Because as fun as it is to try to chase that $50,000 top prize, it's hard when you're going against 50,000 plus teams in there. All right, Nez, you get that. Oh, go ahead.
I was just one more +1. I think that bankroll management thing is just such a cool add-on, right? I think so many people are looking for that sort of, like, hey, what should I do? And it's really hard. And I think, Jon did a really good job and comes from a good background to provide that insight. But yes, my team. I went Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton there. Yeah, really excited about that skinny stack here. I really like Bo Nix this week.
Let's see here. I'm not going to try. I mean, actually, just tell. Does Brock Purdy ever fall to the end of the 6th?
No.
Yeah, I would doubt it. I'll go ahead and the running backs did really get chewed up. I will take Breece Hall here. I know that game is gross. I still kind of want to play some scenarios where he is getting 15 plus touches here. And yeah, so I'll go Brock with the 49ers stack and then Breece Hall along with Tyreek Hill.
It is super, like one of the more interesting dynamics with the 12-person ADP is like QB6 is ADP 55, which was, Brock Purdy. And like last year, you just didn't see that. So you would always kind of have this like, do I need to hurry up and like get my stack kind of like sweat going on in the dog bowls? It really changes the dynamics where like you're just going to see, a lot more QB pushed more often. And I kind of talked about it in my video where I think it just more or less makes, it just makes the bad players better in dog bowl, which, few and far between, right? Most people firing a dog bowler already have a pretty good, pretty good floor.
Yep. John gets his stack. Tua, what's his last name, John?
Jesus Christ. John's having a stroke on stream.
Yeah. What do you guys think of Dobbins? Yeah, obviously, a pretty big scroll in the 6 persons. Going to get drafted a decent amount here. I mean, you look at that team total, the offensive line, and I just can't imagine Sean Payton giving Harvey a monster week 1 workload. I think Dobbins seems pretty nice to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I like Dobbins a lot.
I think it's a fun conversation, gun to your head. Who gets more touches this week, Dobbins or Breece Hall?
I know, and those were the 2 I was debating there.
We didn't really. Sorry, go ahead, Pete.
It's funny because I think I would still give the edge to Breece Hall just in that I don't know how many passes Dobbins is going to catch, whereas I think Breece Hall will still probably catch 3 to 4 balls, which makes it harder, I think, for Dobbins to get more touches, but who knows?
Yeah, Breece, you want that nice trailing game script where he's like the only playmaker they have in space,
Yeah. But Dobbins, I mean, what is it? We could check in the pick'em lobby, Nez. Like, what is the touchdown multiplier for Breece and Dobbins?
Both greater than 1. Like greater than 1x. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. Just a shade over. Over 1x there.
Would you guys rather take the ceiling shot on Breece Hall or Dobbins, or go like touchdown hunting with like David Montgomery?
I think I would probably do the former.
Yeah.
Me too. It just because I think I would think about it different. Like when we go touchdown hunting with Montgomery, it was last year when they would have like 30-point team totals. And this one definitely, the Montgomery thesis gets like way less exciting when you basically kind of like need 2 touchdowns from him and you just don't have that many touchdowns to divvy up based on their total.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting how low it is. Good.
Yeah, it is. It is interesting how low it is, to be honest. Good point from Easy in the chat here that there's very, very few running backs who their dog bowl ADP is lower than their season long one. Like that's pretty crazy. Like I know we were all
think about it like that.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather play Breece than Hendo this week, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. Right. Maybe that's just we haven't seen it take.
Because my thought too, like the excitement about Henderson, and is very validated, or very valid, is that he can rip off the big play. But guess what? Breece Hall can rip off the big play too. It is going to see more volume than Hendo. Maybe you could talk about the matchup and just the game environment. Obviously, that 38.5 point total sucks. So that's also a notch in Hendo's belt. But I don't think we're going to see more than 12 touches for Henderson week 1.
Yeah. There's one other point I wanted to make today that it's probably just going to be viewpoint and not like matter at all. But like with the Achane stuff, it's the cleanest swap in the world to Ollie Gordon, with Jalen Wright not practicing and Ollie Gordon going completely undrafted and free. So that if anything, I think Achane's going to play. I think the calf is fine. I think but I'm just saying, like, you don't get clean ass swaps like this for like full volume guys, like other than Jordan Mason to CMC last year.
We just had a pretty hilarious quote that just hit the timeline. Mike McDaniel on his expectations for running back Ollie Gordon. He'll have 0 plays or all the plays, 0 yards or all the yards, or somewhere in between.
Goat. That's my king right there.
Yeah.
That is
He's so
funny.
annoying. He's on the hot seat, brother. I don't think you can make these little quips and jokes, dude. You need to get your house in order. What are you talking about?
John gets the Cade Otton tight end pick. Nez gets Evan Ingram for the double, and then DK Metcalf there joining me there in that Steelers and Jets game. I might have to do the same here. I might go double Pitt. Is double New Jersey? Or, geez, I can't talk. Double Jets. That seems like it could be bad. We could go Pittman.
Someone take Jawan.
I think I'm going to grab Pittman here and just try to play all the touchdowns through. It's not an offense. I'm comfortable stacking up the Niners. I don't know if I want 2 pieces from the Jets.
Yeah.
I'll grab Pittman here as my final selection. Let's do a quick recap of the teams and then we'll spice it up. I went Brock Purdy, CMC, Breece Hall, Tyreek Hill, Michael Pittman, and George Kittle. What did you do, John?
I went with Jonathan Taylor, Kyron Williams, Devontae Adams, Jalen Waddle, Tua Tagovailoa, and Cade Otton.
I've got Bo Nix double stacked with Cortland Sutton and Evan Ingram, Javon Achan and Alvin Kamara at running back, and then DK Metcalf as my second wide receiver there. I like my team. I like you guys' team as well. These really feel like really fun dog bowl drafts. It just there's a lot of good picks available. Once the bye weeks hit, then it really gets ugly.
Yes, that's like when you really start to want to pile in right away because the 6th round could get so gross.
This 6th round has like a lot of premium names that we're like pretty comfortable clicking on that are still sitting there. Like we talked about Shaheed as a scroll the F down. We talked about Downs and Pittman as scroll the F downs. I mean, Pittman goes, but Garrett Wilson going undrafted, Travis Hunter. What if he plays 80% of snaps? Like Stephon Diggs could just be like RB1 and that game could play to pace in total.
Yeah. All right, guys. We have covered the BR slate. We've gone through the ADPs. We have looked at our scroll DF down gems. We have drafted in small field contests like the Deposit Kingdom League and the Bad Bros Brawl. We have hopped in the 12-person contest with a dog bowl. But now it's time. It is time for the first time in 2025. Actually, probably not true. We probably did this in January. But for the first time in the 2025 season, it's time to spice it up.
Pick 'em, spicy margs.
Spicy margs.
Radioactive spice. Let's spice it up, slop it up.
Slop it up.
I mean,
Slide.
permission to slide, Your Honor. You sliders! That's a 65X. That makes me feel things.
All right. We are going to head to the Pick'em lobby. Nez, I know you've already been spending a lot of time in here, so I'm going to need you to be the Sherpa. I think for the longevity's sake, we will focus on the main slate. Obviously, plenty to build for Thursday and Friday night. I'll let you guys do some of that on your Bad Pro show. So let's focus on the main slate. But where should we start, fellas?
Cores? We start with the core?
Core.
All right. Do you have yours or do you want me to start?
You start.
All right. My core, we're going to go. I was debating between a higher or a lower for my core, but I'm going with the higher. It's week 1. Let's have some fun. I like Jerry Jeudy, and I'm going Jerry Jeudy 4.5 receptions at 1x. To me, this just feels so comfortable. We talked about it earlier during the Battle Royale section, how this game looks like, bad offense or bad defense in Cincinnati and great offense in Cincinnati. And if we can just kind of get the Joe Flacco of 23, because the Joe Flacco of 24 was not good, and the 24 of Jerry Jeudy here, I just don't know how this isn't like hitting in the first half.
All right. I love it. John, what do you got?
I'm very concerned that mine just went away. Let me see.
I had a feeling. I was like, I know. That's why I have backups, but I had a feeling John was
okay.
looking Jerry Judy's way.
No. Mine wasn't Jerry Judy. Mine went away from the Pick'em lobby. Mine, I had Kyron Williams higher receiving yards. It was only 9.5, and
Ooh.
she's gone now. I might just quick pivot to one that I saw that I found shockingly large. Ollie Gordon lower on 28.5 rushing yards.
After Mike McDaniel just said he's going to have them all.
He might have them all. He might have none. I don't know, man. I don't know if you guys like that one or not, but like, yeah, man.
I think
it's getting only 30, almost 30.
Yeah,
I like where your head's at. I mean, it makes a lot of sense as far as a lower goes. I mean, we haven't seen this guy play before. He's a rookie. Achane projected to be fully a full go. So yeah, I like it.
I kind of want to be a hater too. There's no Ricky Pearsall receiving numbers up. I mean, I would really lose the crowd if I did an Igbuka lower, but I kind of want to. Let's see here. The other guy I wanted to see kind of in the same line of Jerry Jeudy. I'm going to play the same Jerry Jeudy angle with Michael Pittman and take him higher than 4.5 receptions. Again, I think the guy who can easily clear this has just been a target monster whenever he's on the field. I think we can get home there. So how do we feel about this for the core? Jerry Jeudy and Pittman higher than 4.5 receptions. Ollie Gordon lower than 28.5.
I'm good with it.
Send it in.
All right. Oh man, this feels so good to share one of these here. We'll get this in the private chat for Jon and Nez. We'll get this in the public chat. I will also do what I did last year, which is share these both in the Deposit Kingdom Discord and the Badge Bros main channel. And then I'll also try to include them in a roundup in my newsletter on what will end up being Saturday morning. So you guys can find these in a bunch of different places. Where should we head next, guys?
I got a really interesting one, just to talk about. Maybe we don't have to play it because we'll do our slop it up, our slide it's and whatever. But dude, Caleb Johnson, 19.5 rushing yards.
All right, which side do you like?
Pound the higher on that thing.
Pound it.
Even if he gets 8 touches.
Well, that's the thing. Do we think he's going to get 8 touches? Because that appears to be bullish.
Yeah.
Honestly, do you like? Yeah, the rush attempts is kind of
attempts?
So they're projecting him for 5 rush attempts. So it's basically saying can he average 4 yards a carry?
I don't know, man. Maybe I got best ball brain on this one, but that seems so effing low.
I mean, coming from a Steelers fan, man, I mean, I don't disagree with what they're showing here. I mean, this game environment kind of sucks. We know the Steelers don't play fast, and Rodgers for the Jets last year passed a lot, which is kind of interesting. Not that I'm anticipating that happening here, but there hasn't just been a ton of glowing reports about Caleb Johnson thus far. He's not Najee. He's just not. He's not going to. I mean, they want him to be Najee, but maybe he will be soon. But Jaylen Warren, by all accounts, looks like he's going to have a pretty strong role here. I get how low it is given where we were taking him in best ball, but
right,
I mean, probably not something I'm touching.
What's Jaylen Warren's attempts?
Jaylen Warren's attempts are they don't. Oh yeah, 12.5.
12.5 rush attempts. Huh.
Yeah. His fantasy points have gone down too in the lobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's take Caleb out. Let's take out Caleb and let's cook here. I didn't mean to derail.
No, you're good. Why don't we do? I feel like this is normally the time where we build one around a game.
Agreed.
We like. Where should we head? We like that Jacksonville, Carolina.
I like Jacksonville, Carolina. The only limitation there is that Jacksonville only has fantasy points right now. I'm not entirely sure why, but I mean that's not it's a huge hindrance. We normally don't get fantasy points at all at this point in time.
I know it's normally inversed, which is interesting.
Yeah, I think we can take a look.
I definitely like playing the higher on one of the running backs for the Jags. I guess there is 45.5 for Tank Bigsby. So it's 6.65 fantasy points for Bigsby. Travis Etienne, 9.15.
It's so tough now that like I'm like feet to fire.
Yeah.
But I do think ETN higher makes sense. Like I feel like he gets first crack.
Yeah,
for sure. I think so too. What do you guys like in here, John? You like anything?
well, if we're telling the story of like ETN through the ground on that side and take those fantasy points, I think we should go like concentrated Bryce Young on the other side. And go with like, a couple receptions for, XL or Sanders, something like that. And then do like a Bryce Young higher and then go from there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind playing the higher on 213.5 passing yards on the road there.
Okay.
It's a pretty low number.
And then pair it with receptions opposed to yardage so we don't get docked.
Yeah.
And do like.
Yeah, you're getting hit either way.
Okay.
Receptions or receiving yards.
Ted Arroyo being a near even money TD score off the rip is pretty incredible. What the fuck is this shit? I haven't had like a spam YouTube thing in ages. It used to happen all the time when we were doing like Top Shot streams. I haven't had to like spam.
I mean, yeah, they just took down one of the big sites too. That's a shame. Yeah, maybe that guy's trying to get in on the action.
Oh yeah, I did see that. All right, so we got ETN, we got Bryce Young. Nez, you got any plays you like?
Yeah, I'm trying to think about where to go with this. I think at any rate, man, we are going to like get docked if we play Bryce Young receiving yards, like unless we do like Chuba Hubbard rush yards, where like we are really just saying this game goes nuts, right? Like I think if we really think this game goes off, I think all three of these things can be true. On top of the fact that Chuba Hubbard rush higher gives us an actual boost to the payout. So I actually like don't hate that by playing the rush yards and just saying like both these offenses are efficient. And we think this game goes over its total.
What the I don't mind that at all. The other thing, like we've sometimes sidestepped the correlation docs, would be to do something like a Xavier Legette longest reception, where I don't know what that ends up being there, as far as how much the doc is, but it's like if Legette's hitting, it's probably downfield.
Yeah, it is a pretty strong doc. It's like a 1x if you compare them to the Chuba rush yards to the XL longest reception. It's 1x swing.
Yeah. What else would you guys like?
I like Sanders receptions or yards. That's kind of where my mind was going with the initial Bryce stuff.
I mean, 1.06 on the 2.5 receptions higher or 19.5. I want to say he's going to have like a little bit higher A dot, so I don't mind the like 19.5.
Yeah. Let's mess around and see what the doc is. So that gets us to 8.
Yeah, whereas like the Legette one got us to so that goes to 8.13. If you do longest reception, that gets us to like 9.27. So way less of a doc there on the Sanders. I think we'd probably need to slide Sanders a little bit to make it worth it.
Yeah.
What would you want to do to like 30 yards?
For Sanders?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see. Like if we took it.
Let's go up 24.5 and see what happens.
Yeah, that gets us close to that sweet spot we generally like to be in, around 18 to 20x with these. So it would basically be ETN with kind of a Carolina onslaught, Bryce Young 213.5, Chuba 61.5 rushing yards, Legette 17.5 longest reception, and then Jatavian Sanders 29.5 receiving yards. I think that's a pretty good way to play it.
Yeah, can we try one different thing to see if this makes it better or worse? If we do Bryce Young completions instead of yardage.
Yeah, let's look.
Unabated is showing a little bit of positive on the completions.
Yes. That gets us up to 20.17, so we do get a little bit more there.
Let's do that.
Cool. All right. I like it. We're going to lock this in for our game stack. I'll drop this in the chats here for everybody. I got about 5 more minutes, fellas. I got another show I'm recording this afternoon. So let's get a few sliders in. I don't mean to rush us too much. We'll have more time on Friday afternoons going forward. Everything is abbreviated for me this week, but should we get some fun slides in here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Slides are spice. Slides are spice, right?
Yep. Either or. Yep. Who's going? Our guy GA asked for a McBride pick. We got to get a McBride in here.
Oh,
all right. He's got a pretty sick multiplier for a touchdown.
We just got to lock that 1.34x.
Yeah, that's in. That's in. We got to build around this.
Yes. Who else is scoring a touchdown on Sunday?
Oh. Let me see here. I'm trying to get one that's like a good multiplier. Kamara's over 1x. I kind of like that.
Oh, over
1x.
Same game.
1.06.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Let's see. Let me search by touchdowns here.
I'm trying that.
I do have one that I like, and it may or may not surprise anybody.
Is it a Jameson Williams?
Oh, Pete, are you looking at my screen? Yes, it is.
Jameson Williams. Oh, not James.
James Williams.
Let's see. Jameson Williams. Yeah, 1.3. He's also someone we could slide if you want to do like a slide of longest reception or receiving yards or something. Because like what's comparable to 1.3? It would be 29.5 for longest reception or 69.5 total receiving yards to get over the touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, we could do a touchdown, or I would go anywhere from like 70 to 80 on his receiving yards.
Let's do this. Let's do this touchdown one with these 3, and then we'll get a yardage slide. So how do we feel about a McBride, Kamara, JMO touchdown one at 11x?
I'm in.
All right.
Yeah, that seems fun. The other one I'm looking at right now, because they're giving you a combo one for Debo. 128. Cliff Kingsbury's just been dying to showcase this guy for years.
I like it. Also, I'm definitely doing this. Like if someone's going to encourage me with a Troy Franklin slide, I need a Troy Franklin longest reception in my life.
Let's do that with the Debo one.
Okay.
Let's see what it gets us.
I mean, are you kidding me?
I'm a big Troy Franklin guy right now.
What do you guys think about 29.5 longest reception at a 2.5x?
Seems feasible for the shower.
Okay. And then John, you liked a Debo 1.28 for a rushing or receiving.
Mm-hmm.
We could get Nez's take here with a Shaheed. You know, I could reach across the aisle to the Shaheed bros.
Yeah.
Here.
Shaheed longest reception is just you can slide that.
Let's see. Longest reception. So 17.5. We could do very similar.
30 or 25.
Wow. Okay. So even at 29.5. So if we go Troy Franklin and Shaheed each catch a 30-yard pass and Debo scores, that's a 35x, fellas. We are so fucking back. That's a we're back right there.
Oh, let's go, baby.
Yeah. That makes it move. That makes it move for me. Lots of good suggestions in the chat. I like these. I see some Dobbins. I see some Tucker Craft love. I like that. Same caveat that we always give too. Like if you guys build some fun ones, drop them in the main Badge Bros channel. Like we will tail. We will review them. Always love seeing your guys' ideas. There's so many things to get through. So if you guys have some angles you like, please share them with us in the Discord.
Yes, can't emphasize that enough. We will play anything.
All right, let's do one more. Do one more bomb. Let's get up to like a 50x here with a couple Omega slides.
All right, let's go. I'm going to start us off hot. Drake London, 100 receiving yards against Tampa Bay. I'm flag planning Drake London smash this week.
All right, that's a 1.5x there for Drake London. I like that one. What do you got, John?
I'm sorry, I'm playing catch up here. I'm deep in the well on Terry McLaurin, and then was going to ask you guys if we're scared about potential week 1.
This isn't the time to be scared, John. We're sliding.
No, this is
yeah.
Pure bullishness right now.
Yeah, I was looking at Len Keast there. I kind of like that Neighbors call that he's got in there. A Neighbors receptions slide.
Okay.
Let's see it. What did our guy say? Oh yeah, here it is.
He's going to 10. I might go to like 8.5 here. Maybe 9.5 gets you to 3.8x. I mean, this is a wide receiver who led the world in usage last year. Like Russell Wilson just going to pepper this guy or what?
Yeah. I like the 8.5 there. Is nice for sure. I wanted to do like a Brian Thomas slide. Let me see what they're giving us for our guy Nico. Oops, not Nico Horner.
Nice.
Nico was one of these other reliable guys that you could just slide up to 100, but yeah, they're only giving us the 1.34. So, but that still gets us to 25. That gets us 25. So London and Nico over 100 yards. Neighbors gets 8.5 receptions. Why don't we get one more alpha wide receiver in this one to get this up here?
Sure. What about Tyreek? Like welcome back game.
Oh, buddy. Okay. Earning back that captaincy. I love the narrative street here. Got to prove it to his teammates.
There's a lot of ways you can do this. Not like if you just want to continue the century mark, that's 1.6x. How would you guys like to do this?
I kind of like the theme of easy to remember. These guys all get into 100 yards.
I also like 70x pick'ems.
Yeah, we could lower the Neighbors like one there, get it to 7.5 for a 46x.
That's clean.
All right, there it is. There's your bomb of the week. The alpha wide receivers get it done. Drake London, Nico, and Tyreek higher than 99.5 receiving yards, and Neighbors gets to 8 receptions. There we go. No Cap says he just got here. Have we done any worthy? No, we're sticking to the main slate because we know people are going to be watching this video over the next few days. So we want to make sure everybody can get these in. But what is your guys' show schedule the rest of this week? Because I assume you guys will be able to hit on that on Thursday and Friday shows.
Yeah, we're going to do Primetime Palooza tomorrow. So that'll be all included in that slate there. So going to hit that slate tomorrow and then do last call for best ball. And then on Friday, do the Friday times whatever they end up putting out for Primetime Palooza. And then more of the Dog Bowl / Battle Royale slate on Friday. But pretty football intense the remainder of the way. We got to talk a little bit of Dinger playoffs and maybe a slate breakdown here or there, but almost all football for the remainder of this week 1.
Beautiful. I'm going to record the second part of my DFS breakdown. Going to be with the in-game syndicate guys this afternoon. Ended up pre-recording those because I had to break that up. I recorded the first part with JM to win yesterday. I think I'm just going to post that later this afternoon once it's all done. So you're going to be able to get a lot of kind of ball knowledge from JM and also Utica. And you can certainly apply that to our underdog stuff, even though we'll be focused more so on the salary cap side with those shows. I'm heading to LA tonight. I haven't, I think I mentioned this in the Discord announcements this morning, which by the way, guys, get in the Deposit Kingdom Discord if you want to keep up on all happenings with the Badge Bros and my shows. But I'm going to have a special stream on my channel tomorrow afternoon. I think it's going to be about a 30-minute stream. I don't know exactly when it's going to be, but I'm going to be from the studios that we're doing the actual pregame show, but we're doing like a pregame. It's going to be me with Brandon Marshall, Derek Carr, and Teron Matthew, just chopping it up for 30 minutes, trying to actually get some questions that we might actually use on the main broadcast on Friday. But that's going to be on my channel, just hanging out with those guys. Like just get to pick their brains about whatever I want, I guess there. So keep an eye out for that. I haven't officially scheduled it just because I don't know with the moving pieces, but that should be happening. And then, Friday, I think my spot is going to be around 7:25 p.m. Eastern time, if you're trying to get the exact time there on that main broadcast. And then, yeah, I'll be back on Sunday morning for the DFS cram for the YouTube members. And then we'll have the shipcast on Sunday afternoon. No After Dark this week. I'm going to be getting in late on Saturday, but then we'll get back to the full normal schedule next week, including this show being at its Friday 3 p.m. Time slot. Although, John, I know there were some weeks we got to touch base with you as well.
Yeah, Primetime Pete, baby. It's an honor to be replaced by Brandon Marshall. That's a treat.
Well, we'll see how far he's willing to scroll down before we talk about replacing anyone around here. But yeah, appreciate all of you guys. And like I said, take advantage of those giveaways. Actually, Nez, that reminds me, you got to give me a number between 1 and 45 for our giveaway we did on Best Ball Breakfast on Monday for the masterclass.
All right, let's go 33. 33.
33. Okay.
Aaron
33.
Jones.
So I'm going to scroll down to the 33rd comment. I am going to sort by oldest first to make sure you guys get credit who did it here. And I will let you know here in 1 second who won. Also, I should say, Davis actually DM'd us during the show. He did the giveaway for his video. It was Harbs, sniper on Underdog.
Nice.
Definitely a legend in the Deposit Kingdom and in all of the draft game streets. Really sharp player and poker guy as well. So shout out to Harbs. I believe the Underdog draft account should be finalizing that one today too. You can go and retweet that. But what number did you say, Nez?
33.
33. All right. This is Schmo 5070. He said best stack for BR week 1 is Evans and Baker. So I'm going to reply to you in this comment and shoot me your email and I will get you a comp for the Underdog Masterclass here. So if you guys didn't win this one, go do the retweet giveaway. And then otherwise, take advantage of that 28% off promo code before that goes away on Sunday. Anything else for you guys before we get out of here?
No, I'm just you're gonna see me in these lobbies, and obviously we got more shows the rest of the week. I'm stoked to see you on the broadcast, Pete. That is still so cool, and can't wait, man.
Hey,
Pete,
I appreciate that. What
are you gonna wear, dude? You going tanks out with these guys or what?
No, it's the nice thing. It's in between tanks out and suits. Yeah, no suits that I have to worry about here. No, they said dress as if you were going on a date to like a nice bar type of thing. That was kind of the equivalent. So not looking too shabby, but no blazer, no none of this. So I basically what I said, I was like, this is going to stress me out to print. So I'm just going to bring like 4 different sets of clothes and I'll just let someone there in the studio tell me which one I should wear.
That's the right move.
So that's what we're going to do. But yeah, appreciate all of you guys very much. Looking forward to it. And honestly, just can't wait to get back into the rhythms of the season. Getting this show every single week is one of my favorite things to do and getting you guys all prepared for these Battle Royale slates. So join us in the Discord. Check out the masterclass. We will see you guys next time on Off and On the Clock.